depreciation and why it is one of the best real estate perks. Well, one of the best perks. And also probably why Trump only pays $750 in taxes, if that's even a real number or not. Um, but so what is it, right? What's depreciation? So it's essentially the IRS considers it like a reduction in value of property and asset um, with the passage of time due to wear and tear, right? As far as they're concerned, but obviously we all know that real estate goes up in value, right? So that's right there. That sentence is why it's awesome, right? So you can do like two main methods of depreciation. One's like the straight line method, I think it's called, and you pretty much depreciate the value of a building throughout 27 and a half years, right? So $1 million building, you get to depreciate $26,000 a year off of that, right? So what does that mean? Let's say that the $1 million building you bought ends up making you, I don't know, $36,000 that year, which is sweet, right? Well, if you didn't have depreciation, you'd have to pay taxes on that $36,000 you made. But with depreciation, because the building depreciated in value by 36K that year, you essentially made zero. Or if you made 30K and you can depreciate 36, you essentially have a loss of $6,000, which is awesome. Like, that is literally the best part of real estate, right? And it gets better, right? So let's say that you buy, it's usually like buildings that are like above, I think like $500,000. You can do a cost segregation study, and a cost segregation study is an engineering study, which essentially they go through like every part of the building, and everything has a different schedule of essentially its life, right? So they're like, all right, these things last 5 years, this lasts 10 years. So what it essentially does, you can accelerate the rate that you take your depreciation at, right? So what that means is that maybe on that $1 million building on your first year, you might be able to take 15 to 20% of its value in depreciation that first year. So why is that even more huge, right? Let's say that your building made, just for rough numbers, these aren't like actual numbers, but let's just say, like we said in the previous example, $1 million building, you made 30K, but doing a cost segregation study, you can use this accelerated depreciation to take like 150K in losses for that year. That's awesome, right? Because technically you lost 150 minus 30, 120 grand, right? But your other businesses and everything else that made money, maybe you made 120K that year and other profits, which you'd have to pay taxes on. Obviously, it has to be, it's not quite that simple, but for the ease of not making things complicated. So let's just say it equals out. So essentially, you made 150K that year, not for free or not taxed, but due to the depreciation, you didn't pay any taxes on that, which again is awesome. And that is again why real estate is the best thing ever, ever, because of depreciation. And yeah, so that is the best. And you can do this on a single family, right? You buy a house for 100K, you divide that by 27 and a half, and whatever that amount, you can take that amount and depreciate it off that house for 27 and a half years. And I don't know what happens after 27 and a half years because I've never gotten there, so we'll figure it out when we get there. So I hope this video helped, and if you need another reason to get some real estate. Oh, and the other cool part is if you invest passively in a real estate deal and you get a K1, you also benefit from the depreciation, which is another bonus of depreciation, because let's say you passively invest in a deal and you invested $1 million and you made, I don't know, let's say 12%. So you made 12K that year. With that depreciation, you essentially, ideally, depending on the deal, the owner of the building that's putting, or the investment that's putting, this video is getting way too drawn out, but essentially you get depreciation even if you invest passively, which is, again, even awesome, even if you're not hands-on. So, anywho, I hope this video helped, and I hope it made sense, and I hope it wasn't all over the place, but depreciation. I think it's been called the eighth wonder of the world, or is that compounding interest? I don't know what, they're both equally amazing. So, anyway, hope you have a great night.